Kind of upset right now because I discovered this fragrance recently and it's so hot outside, and this contains most of my favorite fall and winter notes in it. And the more I smell it, I'm like, darn, I can wear it, but I can't over apply it. And I have to wear it very methodically, very strategically. Listen to this: cinnamon, rum, chocolate, labdanum, tobacco, tonka bean, sandalwood. This is Calle Ocho by Fulton Roark. I'm going to tell you all about this fragrance in just a little bit, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Calle Ocho by Fulton Roark, I'll tell you about the notes, the smell, performance, longevity, comparisons, all that good stuff. This stuff is incredible. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, and of course if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and also please give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It really means a lot to me. So here we have this amazing tobacco, rum, boozy, cinnamon, tonka bean, woodsy, sandalwood, and slightly floral fragrance. There's jasmine, but it's so rich and spicy and boozy. And this one is called Calle Ocho. This fragrance is awesome. I tried this for the first time, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and I fell in love with it, and I knew I had to get a bottle of it eventually because I had a discovery set. And I tried this along with another one from the brand, and this is the one that I really fell in love with. But of course the only issue is that this is one that I would recommend for the colder weather. But that tobacco, rum, tonka bean combination is fantastic. I'm going to tell you all about the smell in just a little while. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get this tobacco, rum, and cinnamon vibe. And the cinnamon is not overly sweet, but the spiciness melds very nicely with that rum accord, which is also a bit spicy in and of itself. The tobacco in here is really rich, but it's not this cherry flavored tobacco that you're going to get in like Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. So if you're worried about this being redundant, if you should own any of these other tobacco-based fragrances, it's really not. It's also not overly dry. One of my other favorite tobacco fragrances is Bois d'Ombrie by Eau d'Italie. It's a very dry tobacco. It just smells like tobacco leaf, right? Like there's nothing else in it. It's not flavored in any way. There's no syrup, there's no molasses, there's no sweetness, no nothing. This fragrance, on the other hand, bears a bit of complexity that I really enjoy. Now, it's not too dark, right? So this is the one redeeming factor, if you will, where I'm like, you know what? If it's a cool evening, I'm going to wear this one anyway. And I say that because of the night blooming jasmine and of course the sandalwood. Sandalwood can be a bit creamy, a bit lighthearted. It's not an overly dark wood. It's not like oud or cedar wood or something like that. Sandalwood and gaiac wood are kind of some of the lighter woods. Driftwood as well. We see driftwood being used a lot in summer perfumes. The musk is very clean. It's not a heavy-handed musk. It's not animalic in any way. The labdanum has a certain richness to it. And I don't think the sweetness is coming from any ambers in the base. It's not so much of an amber accord just because I don't see vanilla in here. I don't see benzoin. I don't see any other resins. It simply states labdanum, and it's listed as a mid note as opposed to a base note. I'm personally getting a bit of sweetness from it coming from, like I said before, the cinnamon, but I also think a bit from the chocolate. Now, it's not a cocoa or cacao. It doesn't smell powdery, but you do get this sweetness that is kind of careful to not tip over the edge. It's not an overflowing cup. It's not a super strong sweetness, and I think it is tamed in many ways by that resinous, that balsamic vibe of the labdanum, but also that earthiness coming from the tobacco as opposed to the sandalwood, which is where you would expect the earthiness to come from, but it's really coming more so from the tobacco. This stuff is awesome. This is a really, really good fragrance. And it says here on the side, Calle Ocho begins with the multifaceted notes of fine-aged rum, the swirling combination of woody amber, oak wood, and bourbon-like vanilla, which is funny because none of those are listed in the note breakdown. And I'm not going to say there's vanilla in here, even though I believe there's ethyl vanillin or whatever, but it's not sweet. Creamy sandalwood, a hint of orange rind, and rich aromatic tobacco leaf, spiced with cinnamon, give the scent a lavish appeal. Yeah, this one smells like you're in a cigar lounge, or it smells like you're relaxing, maybe somewhere in Cuba, and you're just enjoying the vibe, the aesthetic, the ambiance, the scenic landscape. This is a beautiful fragrance. I can't recommend this one enough, and it just sucks now that it's hot outside. I'm going to be wearing this one in the cool evenings. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this one is unique in the sense that it doesn't smell like Xerjoff Naxos, it doesn't smell like Pure Havane by Thierry Mugler, it doesn't smell like Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, right, or Bois d'Ombry by Eau d'Italie. This is a unique tobacco fragrance. I appreciate it for that. Longevity on this one is a good 7 to 8 hours on skin. Projection was good for the first hour. It radiated within an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 6 or 7, a skin scent right around hour 8. So the performance is a bit above average, so that's really good. Now the versatility on this one, people would argue that it's traditionally masculine leaning. I think it's unisex. You know, if you like the richness of the resins, the sandalwood, the spices, you know, anybody can wear this one, but I can see people arguing that this one is going to be masculine leaning. I think this one is great for the colder weather. I think this is great for a dressed up scenario, and I think this one would appeal more so to an older demographic. And in terms of the presentation, I like how heavy the bottle is. It was a bit deceptive initially because I didn't expect it to be so heavy, but it's a really cool bottle, very recognizable. It's different from everything else I've seen on the market. My final verdict on this fragrance is it is a very well done tobacco-based fragrance while still incorporating some other really special rich ingredients in here and not making it too much of a cherry tobacco or not adding honey to the mix, which is something that we see happening with a lot of other tobacco-based fragrances. I really enjoy Calle Ocho. I couldn't recommend it enough. I'm going to drop the link down below. It is not an affiliate link. This is not a sponsored video. I am getting paid nothing for this video, but I'm doing it for your convenience. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something of value from today's episode, and if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you again so much for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.